Hello, everybody, and welcome to Grindhouse Massacre, our very first tournament. We have a very exciting game to kick off the entire tournament. We have Overcome versus Valhalla, and right now we see Vobo here on the Billy on Suffo 1 going up against Overcome survivors, and immediately we catch out the Adam here. Going for the vault, does not go for the vault, and that actually means that he avoids the saw, the overdrive coming through, but Vobo is not able to predict where our survivor is going. That is going to be a stun here, and it will continue, but Vobo is actually going to ditch the chase and go look at the cross, and here we find survivors up at the top side of the map in the main building. And this is just, pallets are being shred left and right, and those pallets are super valuable here on Suffo. But we do see the chase continue here. That is going to be a chase into the mid-map. Ooh, but a very well-timed balance landing is going to ensure our survivor gets out safely. Claudette doing a very good job here, going to be running around back to the middle of the map, getting the pallet drop, and making a lot of distance, just not giving up this down, and that is exactly what you need in a Billy set. It does look like that ruin was cleansed, though, by the survivors, so we do not have to deal with that perk any longer. Ooh, does not quite make the chainsaw, though. The survivors are doing a very good job of not getting that insta-down, but however, here in the main building, Jake is going to finally go down to the saw. And that is going to be the first down here at 5 generators. That was just a high action, fast paced beginning, bouncing from chase to chase. And we do have a generator here with a lot of progress, but it does not look like it's going to be finished. And we are actually going to see the pop goes the weasel get applied to that generator, stalling out the objective. And now we see Vobo checking on these topside generators, wants to kind of hold the top side. That is a very advantageous position for the killer to get these topside generators confirmed, because if you can whittle down the resources up there at the top of the map, then later on when it's a 3-gen scenario, it's going to be much more difficult to get anything going. But we do see a chase here onto Adam, and that is going to be a down. Does kind of get caught out here in the middle of the map. And now Vobo is going to go back up towards the hook, looking for anyone stealthing around for an unhook. Billy, of course, one of the best killers at confirming these hook stages. And yeah, it looks like Vobo is just going to be sitting here trying to confirm that second stage. Is not going to make it back to the middle map just yet, and that is going to secure a pickup onto Adam. And we are going to see Vobo continue to hold this cross. We do know that lots of high mobility killers like playing on Suffo Pit. We see Blight on Suffo Pit all the time, able to hold this cross with the mobility. And if you have a hook up here in this 4-gen, that is a very hard situation for the survivors to come out of, especially with a killer like Billy, who is able to confirm these hook stages very easily. And there it goes. Even though the unhook comes through, Ada is going to go down as a result, but Vobo is going to try to get the tunnel out. Our survivor's going to try to make it towards the bottom of the map, but has to play this tile first and secure enough distance to where the saw, especially in this overdrive, is not going to just get an instant down. And our survivor is going to take the chance right now, but remember, this pallet was used earlier. The crouch is there. However, the down is going to come through with the M1. And we see another injured survivor here. Ada was able to get picked up, but with the power of Bamboozle going to be denying this window and getting a down onto Adam. Billy just doing an amazing job on this map, being able to hold that cross like this, confirming this kill at 4 generators. And now we know that Ada and Claudette are near the top side of the map. Ada actually making a break for the bottom side while injured. Very smart play. Vobo in the meantime, is going to check on that slugged survivor down here. Does not want to get the pickup and lose any pressure. Is going to get the pick on the survivor and drag them towards the middle of the map. Probably to make it easier to confirm any more stages, as well as hold this cross, knowing Ada is down there. However, we still have a 4-gen situation here. And it's going to lead Vobo to come and try to get any pressure that they can up on the top side of the map. Going to use the Pop Goes the Weasel to stall out that generator, but we have another survivor kind of caught out here at the top side of the map. Chainsaw not quite going to connect, and our survivor is going to get so much distance off of that. It's probably going to make it towards the bottom side. Vobo does spot out Adam yet again here in this top. Not able to see the... There we go. We see the stream again. Vobo is going to be chasing around this tile here, going after Claudette. Does not quite land the curve. Very good play from the Claudette. Getting that pallet break. And very good patience by Vobo is going to actually confirm the down here. And it looks like he's going for a slug play, going to try to get the 4K4 here on the Suffo Pit Billy. And Billy's just able to go across the map super quickly, knew exactly where the Ada was from seeing her earlier. Ada does manage to finish that generator, securing at least a 4K3, but that is still going to be a down, and Vobo's going to collect the slugs and go around, getting the hooks, and securing a fantastic win result for Valhalla. New Hillbilly is extremely strong, extremely fast-paced, and on a map like Suffo, where you just have to worry about holding that cross and getting downs in your 3 or 4 gen, Billy is definitely the killer to do so, and we saw just how effective that mobility was at denying crosses, getting quick downs in the 3 gen. Unlike Blight, where, yes, you have the mobility, you still have to get 2 hits on a survivor. And that can give survivors enough wiggle room to make it to the other side of the map. Billy does not really have that luxury with the insta-down. And that played a big factor here, getting those downs up here at the top side of the map, denying any gen pressure. This almost 5 gen spawning, just super unlucky for the survivors. But Vobo played a very, very good game here. Knew what they had to do macro-wise and capitalized on it with very strong Billy chases all around. But yeah, we are waiting here for the survivors to die. And after that, we can move on to the next game. Now, this is going to be an uphill battle for Overcome. In this situation, that is it's a doable win result, but it's also quite a tough one. A Billy player has to be very masterful over the character in order to get something like this out. So that is going to be a very exciting, close, nail-biting match that we have coming up. Can Overcome's killer match or beat this to maybe get the tiebreaker going? But we will see. So please stay tuned. Thank you all for watching, and we will be back very, very soon. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Grindhouse Massacre. We are back with Valhalla on the survivors. And this time we have Overcome's killer on the Hillbilly, starting a chase very early here on Shaq. We do see David's POV here running away from the chase that his teammate is in, but now we see Disaster on the killer, and that is going to be a chase here in the bottom side of the map. Very quick chase due to Billy's mobility. Not quite going to land that curve. Very good pathing coming through from the ace player here. And Disaster is actually going to leave the chase, using that mobility to just make it across the map. Try to pressure any survivors that might have crossed up into this top side where this very strong generator split is. We do have more of a 4-gen towards the bottom side, but the top side 3-gen is very holdable as well. Almost getting the snipe here onto Renato. A very good body block. This is actually going to confirm a down. Oh, almost misses, but a very good curve coming through from Disaster is going to get the down on Renato and start the snowball very, very early. And this is just one of Billy's strengths, being able to find survivors quickly. And if a chase doesn't go the right way immediately, you can just leave and get on someone else. And that ruin still being up is going to be a big difference. And the chase is going to continue here onto the David. We do see some chainsaw coming through from Disaster, trying to get a dash here. That could be a curve. Instead, Disaster's actually going to leave and pressure the bottom side generators. Again, the mobility, it does not look like the Valhalla's survivors were able to quite find Billy leaving just in time. And look at this. Disaster is just ping-ponging between chases, doing a very good job at pressuring these survivors. Is going to be breaking the pallet gym here and continuing the chase onto the tunnel out Renato into this TNL, blocking off Renato's exit. But Renato doing a very good job of pathing, but Disaster's actually going to leave. Goes back towards this bottom gen. Finds the ace. This generator is super close to being popped. The vault comes through. The chainsaw does not happen until right now. That is going to be yet another vault. We do see the bamboozle going to be blocking off this window. Ace does have this pallet right here. Is going to just pre-throw it. Very smart and safe play. Ace going to be trying to take the chase a little bit towards the edge map. Disaster's curve not quite landing. And it looks like we are going to see a back rev coming through right now. But the rock actually placed perfectly to block Ace from getting down. And that is going to be a generator done on the top side of the map. And Disaster is going to yet again leave the chase, trying to pressure the survivors here. Our injured Renato player kind of caught out here. No pallet in the vicinity. That is a second generator popping at the top side of the map. And remember all the progress that was on that bottom side generator. Renato doing a very good job of just denying being downed. Going to be playing around these windows. Not a pallet in sight, but it does not matter. Renato doing an amazing job of vaulting back and forth, getting the most value out of this. Disaster kind of relegated to this M1 killer here, not going for any curves or using the powerful mobility as a result of these windows. And Renato playing that tile perfectly. That's going to be the win condition met for Valhalla. That was an amazing chase. And overall, the chases for Valhalla have just been fantastic. Just denying any downs, even when things look grim with no resources. We do have a pallet here, and Disaster not quite able to get the snowball going, but is going to play for the best possible result here. We do see the balance landing coming through. Going to be going up towards the top side of the map. And it looks like our slug was picked up. We are going to see Ace in chase around this pallet gym. Remember, it was dropped earlier. Ooh, the dash not quite connecting, though. Disaster yet again faced with these window tiles. And so far, those survivors have been playing them very well. But that down is going to come through. The infectious fright that we see going to be revealing the location of Renato. That chainsaw not quite connecting. But another gen popping in the distance, making this even more of a win for Valhalla. Disaster not quite able to land these crucial saws. And just going for a swing here, but it does not land through the pallet. And again, is not going to be picking up that survivor, just wants that best result possible. That is going to be the pickup onto Renato, or Ace on the ground. And a chase is going to start here with Adam. That bamboozle coming through, not quite able to make use of that balance landing there in the shack, and that will be a down. Disaster dashing back up towards the top side of the map, wants to secure, maybe it's the 4K through a slug snowball. Is going to find Ace caught out here at the logs, does not quite get the hit, but that is going to be the infectious proccing off of, ooh, wow. That was very close on the flashbang. But now David is caught out here. Adam was picked up across the map, but that is not pressure on any generators right now. We are not going to see the chainsaw. Very good positioning from David, making it around this tile. Going to be playing for the window, but ooh, the body block actually getting him in the corner here. That is going to be a down onto David. And the infectious fright not actually going to reveal the position of the survivors, picking them up. But we are going to find the injured Adam yet again. No resources here except for this window. Very good patience from Disaster, not swinging. And that will be 2 survivors down. Disaster is aware of their location thanks to that infectious fright. But the pickup does come through onto David. And he is struggling getting any pressure here whatsoever. And now we see 2 survivors in this area going to be playing for the M1 chase. Not quite going to land that swing, just a little bit early there from Disaster, and very good vaults coming through from all the players. And again, the slug snowball is not able to like build up or anything right now. The survivors are doing a very good job of picking each other up, dying in places unadvantageous to the snowball. And even with all the survivors injured and Ruin ticking away at the generators, Disaster is not quite able to get the result that he needed. The survivors are just playing this extremely well, breaking off line of sight, making that M1 chase extremely tough. This is Suffocation Pit, after all. M1 chases are renowned here. And that is going to be the forced locker pull yet again, coming through onto Renato. That is going to be the 3rd stage confirmed for Disaster. However, Disaster once more is going to come down to this generator where 2 survivors are injured. The infectious fright not quite able to deny that generator from popping. And 2 survivors flee the scene in opposite directions, threatening that unhook, threatening to pick up the slug. And again, we have an M1 chase. This is M1 Trapper 1v1s here. And that is going to be the slug pickup. We do have a door down here, but Disaster is going to be very weary of the door and the cross, most likely. Trying to secure that hook stage that he already has. Is going to find Ace caught out here at the edge map. That will be a down. But that is just what the survivors need. Look at this. They are probably pressuring that unhook right now. There it is. And they're making incredible use of the large size of the map. And yet again, the survivors are splitting up the second that they can. Not letting any slugging potential happen here. That is going to be a pull onto the David. And one of the doors is open. 3 survivors standing. They might be on their way out. And that is 3 survivors escaping. They are happy to take the 1K6 result, as they were able to... Valhalla was able to get that very impressive 4K3 result earlier on the Billy. But don't go anywhere, folks. We do have the Nurse set coming up. It will be Overcomes Killer's pick, so we have to see if they are going to be a little bit tighter on that set. So please do stay tuned. Thank you all for watching. and we will be back very, very soon. On the side of the map, that is going to be a kick and a return. We do see a survivor coming through for a very fast unhook. This could make or break the survivor play here. This chase needs to be very long, but we do see the blinks coming through. Very good pathing coming through from Adam, going upstairs instead of out the window, making it to where Disaster cannot quite get that blink, but that is going to be a quick redown, proccing that eruption on that lower generator and stalling out the survivor's objective even further. A generator popping in the distance, but that rehook again, the top side of the map. And Disaster is going to be blinking down back towards this generator that we knew had progress from before. And that's two survivors fleeing the scene. Disaster not quite going to go after them, though, is going to apply that eruption and call a brine to this generator and go right back up towards the hook, where the unhook did come through very quickly yet again. And Disaster going to be going after the survivor. A very good blink. The second blink landing perfectly, and that will be another redown very quickly. And that is a death at 4 generators. Very good nurse play coming through from Disaster. Overall, very, very good stuff. That generator is going to pop there on the bottom side of the map, but that is a lot of time for one generator pop due to those regression perks. And now we still have this top side 3-gen that the survivors have to deal with. Disaster finding one of the survivors up here at the top side yet again. And if he can get a hook over in this area, this bit of lag here on the screen. There it is. And a quick down coming through onto Renato. Disaster playing this nurse game extremely well. Getting very quick downs. And it looks like he is not going to go for a topside hook. They are a little bit too far for Disaster's liking. Is going to abandon that and go after the survivor up here. They are trying to break this topside 3-gen still. And we do have a kick. And the survivors are going to be getting that unhook in the meantime. And a very good stealth coming through here. That is going to be a blink just around the area, looking out for that 3-gen. The survivors are going to reset in the meantime, and we do actually catch the survivor out here on the top side of the map. This is a necessary chase for Disaster. A very good blink connecting here. And if this down can come through on the top side of the map, this can be very big for our killer. However, Ace is doing a very good job just going to be dying in the corner as far away from the generators as possible. And additionally, that topside hook was used here very recently. Disaster knows this and is not actually going to pick and is instead going to commit to other chases instead, leaving that survivor on the ground. We do see a generator popping there in the bottom of the map. Disaster looking around the topside cross is not quite able to find any survivors. They're doing such a good job. This is how you outplay Nurse here. Just utilizing stealth extremely well, not giving Disaster any information whatsoever. The survivors are playing this phenomenally. However, they still have a huge hill to get over. They are at 2 generators currently, with a survivor laying there on the ground. Disaster just holding the blink at the cross. Knowing that no survivors are there on the top side of the map is a very big advantage. Disaster is able to pressure the entire map from this location, and knows that the second that a survivor is picked up there on the top corner, he... There is the pickup, and Disaster immediately does exactly what I predicted, going straight back up there. But the survivor might have crawled away, and that was a very fast reset coming through for the survivors, and that is huge. That is so much pressure removed from our killer here. Disaster going to be going back up towards that 3-gen, does not want to commit to those chases down there on the bottom side of the map because of how much progress was on this generator up here at the top corner. And we are actually going to find out Renato here. Very good from Disaster, being patient here, not falling for that double back. However, that hit is not going to connect, and the chase continues down this side of the map. We do not have this pallet gen pallet anymore. And a very good safety blink coming through from Disaster, going to lead to an injury. And now with that undetectable, Disaster is going to continue the chase onto Renato down here at the bottom side of the map. Again, patience is key here in the Nurse chase. Going to be going after Renato. Very good pallet play. However, with the ping hit from Disaster, that is going to be a down. And a very important one at that. Disaster not going to choose to hook here. Yes, exactly. And is actually going to hook as close towards the top side as possible. We have to wonder if the survivors were working a top side gen or were doubling on that side bottom gen. We hear quite a bit of progress here as a survivor skedaddles away. That is going to be a kick here on that generator, applying that Call of Brine, applying that eruption. As the unhook comes through across the map, that tells Disaster all he needs to know. There is no gen progress elsewhere because the other survivor was pushed off of that generator. However, the Call of Brine actually giving Disaster notice that there is a survivor working that generator yet again. But rather than go up and pressure, it looks like Disaster is going to try to get the injured survivor. And they're playing this phenomenally, going straight to the opposite side of the map. And even though the down comes through, proccing the eruption, Disaster is going to take quite a bit of time to get back up towards the top side of the map. And depending on how much progress the generator has, this might be the generator popping in Disaster's face. Very good macro play from the survivors here. They are playing this phenomenally, and even though that is a kill onto Renato, Disaster's actually choosing not to go to that topside generator, has conceded that it is gone, is instead going to be getting the chase here onto David. However, this side generator pops as well. And even though David is on the ground, the other generator at the top side of the map pops. And Disaster is going to have to find this last survivor. The Ace is going to have to stealth this out. But the doors are super unadvantageous for the survivors. Disaster is able to hold this cross phenomenally from this position, keeping his eyes on gates and the cross to the slug as well. And the survivors are going to have to play this extremely well if they want to secure any outs for their team. We have the bleed out timer ticking down, but that is a 4-minute timer. Extremely long for the survivors to try any sort of hatch play. And it all comes down to whether the ace can stealth this out and not give up unnecessary information or not. Disaster getting a little bit antsy of holding this, is going to check behind the main, finding the ace, but a little bit of an overblink is not going to secure the hit, and Ace is going to barrel it down towards the slug survivor. Knowing that he is not injured, can afford to get this pick. However, a very good single blink coming through from Disaster, going to secure the down. Ooh, that goes for a prediction blink, but does not quite make it through the rock. And now Ace's position is wide open. Disaster going to be playing around this double window here, going for a safety blink. Ace kind of connecting with the wall, going to lead to that tag. And now the injured Ace is going to be running down towards the shack. And it looks like this might be it for the survivors. This will likely be the 4KO, barring some sort of miracle here. Disaster going to be getting that blink around the rock, going for a biblioth right through it and getting that down. And now we are playing slug collection with these hooks just being super disadvantageous here. And man, the survivors playing that very well, knew exactly where to die several times, with Ace dying in that top side hook dead zone, unable to be hooked and pressured. And then Renato dying on his last breath, going down at the bottom side of the map. Very good pressure game from the survivors, splitting those last two generators. Just overall phenomenal play. Disaster looking around for the David. Not quite able to find him just yet. But Disaster also had incredible plays with that top side 3-gen, finding the survivors very early, getting those quick downs, and getting very advantageous hooks near the start of the game. And David doing a very good job of hiding here, not letting himself be known to anyone. Disaster is now looking around the hook, looking for the David on the ground, wants to get this fresh hook. David has not been hooked yet. That is going to be a fresh hook in play if the bleed out occurs. But Disaster also has to be super weary of the possible hatch play. And so while that bleed out timer is ticking down, the hatch is going to open very, very soon. And Disaster is unable to find David anywhere in the area. And it is very likely that David is, yes, across the map from the hatch, doing a very good job of stealthing this out, and that is likely going to be the bleed out. Unless by some miracle he finds him right now. No, that is going to be the bleed out. Very well played from the survivors, securing that not fresh hook. Very, very, very well played. And that is going to be the first match of this set, so please do stay tuned for Valhalla's killer on the Nurse, going up against Overcome survivors, coming to you very, very soon. Hello, we are back with the Grindhouse Massacre. Thank you all for watching, and this time we have Vobo back once again on the killer for Valhalla, going up against Overcome's survivors, and this is going to be a very exciting matchup because we did have a 4K0 last match. However, a fresh hook did not come through onto one of Valhalla's survivors, meaning that the survivors for Overcome are going to need outs in order to get a winning result, and they cannot tie with a 4K0. And we do have a chase here onto the Claudette. That is going to be oh, we do see a lot of line of sight breaking. However, Vobo is going to land the hit onto Claudette. Going to be continuing the chase here, and even though the pallet is dropped, the Nurse is just going to blink right over it, getting a very quick down. And we saw Jake kind of run by here, but they did not try a flashlight or firecracker or anything. And that is going to be a hook here at the top middle part of the map. And that is a fantastic hook spot for the Nurse. And we see somewhat more of a standard Nurse build with that Dying Light this time, in opposition to the Colubrine eruption that we saw previously. But Vobo is going to be pressuring the top side of the map, and Vobo has a much tighter gen split up here at the top side than Disaster had. Vobo does find a survivor here, but is actually just going to blink right back to the hook. He was not able to get a tag. However, there's quite a bit of progress here on this middle generator that the survivors are pressuring in order to get pressure away from that hook. Vobo cannot just let this generator go for free, because that is an important middle generator that kind of almost creates some sort of a 5-gen for him at the top side. However, he's going to have to concede and let that hook go, and instead go for the trade here, as the unhook does come through, and Disaster is going to be running straight down the side of the map, trying to get as much distance away as possible, going to be lockering up, and very patient from Disaster, not falling for the swing that Nurse is able to do after the blink in a locker. And Disaster actually going down under a pallet, going to be threatening a pallet save from a teammate. We do actually see a pallet save come through, but however, it does not actually get the stun, and instead Vobo's going to be carrying Disaster up towards the top side of the map. The timing must have just been a little bit off. However, oh, that is going to be a tag onto Jake, because they were trying to threaten that totem. However, Jake's pathing was very good there, leading Vobo a little bit confused. Thought that they were going to play the pallet gem, is instead going to be getting away from the area. That is very important. We do not need a slug for the result that the survivors need. A slug around the hook would be devastating. So very well played. We do see a reset coming through elsewhere, as generators are starting to be done at the top side of the map. And here is the problem. Vobo has this very tight top side 4-gen. However, the hook is towards the bottom side of the map. Very good death positions from our survivors. And if Vobo wants to tunnel out, he's going to have to continue the chase onto Disaster. And we are still here on the bottom half of the map. Not quite as bottom as you can get, though. Vobo going to be playing for a prediction blink, and very good pathing from our Claudette here, going to be making as much distance as possible, using the trees, breaking the line of sight. Very creative pathing is actually going to secure getting to the bottom side of the map here, as those generators at the top side are likely being pounded away. And Disaster just breaking that line of sight, playing around the shack, going as far into the corner as he can, forcing Vobo to just blink and walk him down. Very good play from our Claudette here, and that is going to be a down and pickup as a generator pops on the top side of the map. That is going to be the pickup onto the Nia, getting them away from this area, as Vobo goes back towards the top side of the map to try to get anything going with that remaining gen split. That is still a very tight gen split, arguably the tightest one that could have been left up for Vobo. So I'm sure Vobo's feeling pretty good about what's going on. However, this generator is super close to being done. It's being doubled by 2 injured survivors. That is going to be a down. However, they do manage to break up the 3-gen. And it looks like our Rebecca is out without a trace. The Ruin is getting popped in the 3v1, which is all important. And Vobo is going to go back to collect his prize of the Jake. Putting Jake up here on that hook, getting a 4th stack of Dying Light going. And the survivors... Alright, we are back, and it does look like Vobo is going to be looking for that reset. It does look like Nia was healed in the meantime with Jake on that hook. And Vobo has to be super careful with the generator far from the hook. The survivors are going to be able to pressure that unhook as well as the generator very safely. We do see the survivors crossing up towards the side of the map there. Very good on Vobo looking out for what he needs to find. And now we are going actually down to the bottom generator, going to be pressuring Rebecca off of it as our Jake reaches that second stage and a chase commences. Rebecca going to need to be very, very good in this chase to not secure that fast down as the unhook comes in and a generator is started likely. And that is going to be a quick hit onto Rebecca and a very quick follow-up, leading to a very fast down right as the unhook comes through. And we did choose, the survivors did choose to heal there. They did not choose to just double the generator injured, and Vobo actually getting a very beneficial hook here, right here in the middle of all the generators. Going to lead to some very good pressure. And now Vobo is going to be looking around for the survivors, knows that there is progress on this top side generator. Almost gets the double blink onto Jake, but the unhook comes through in response, and Vobo is actually going to continue to chase Jake here at the top side of the map as Jake just runs it straight down. Does manage to get a tag. That was very well played from Jake, but Vobo was able to read that. And the chase actually going straight up towards the top side of the map. Very good distance from Jake here. Vobo not able to get the double blink, is instead going to have to wait for the blinks to recharge. And the chase will continue, tries to double back, but it does not quite land. And that is actually going to be a death hook onto Jake. Remember, Jake went second earlier. That is not the player that you want to be found in this situation. And now the survivors, through 5 stacks of dying light and an injury onto Rebecca, have to finish this last generator and get an out with at least 1 stage out. The generator does pop. Vobo is able to get that. However, a hit comes through onto Nia, and now both survivors are injured. The gates very well situated, but Vobo is going to be going after Nia. Does not quite go down. This is exactly what the survivors need. Nia going to be running across the map, trying to get as far away from that gate as possible. Lockering up to where we cannot slug, forcing the pickup. And Vobo is actually going to have to probably leave this chase. Is going to blink right back to Nia. However, the locker here is just going to secure the win condition that the survivors need. They are playing around with lockers. And the pull comes through as the out happens. And Overcome is able to overcome that win condition and get the out that they need in order to take it to the tiebreaker. Very well played from the survivors. Our killer played immaculately. However, at the end of the day, the hook positioning there at the bottom was their undoing, as that 3-gen was able to be popped, and the survivors did a very good job at pressuring that 4-gen split at the start. Very good at dying where they needed to, and we have a lot more exciting games coming up with a mastermind tiebreaker set. So thank you all for watching. Please stay tuned for more Grindhouse Massacre, and we will be back very, very soon. Hello everybody and welcome back to Grindhouse Massacre. My roommate lets me be loud again, so we are going to bring some energy to this tiebreaker, and we have Vobo playing for Valhalla going up against Overcome survivors. So we do see the mastermind here on the Wretched Shop, and that is going to be a chase starting here on Disaster. I can also see names again. So Disaster is going to be starting the chase around this truck. No pallet in sight, is going to try to make it up here to this. Oh, this isn't even an edge map filler. Just going to be eating an M1 hit, and the dash is going to come through, trying to get a follow-up. Very good positioning here from Disaster. Not going to lead to a down, and he is going to make that pallet. Going to be running around this rock. However, the brutal strength coming through, getting Disaster zoned out a little bit. Very good pathing from Disaster, going to make it to where that down does not come through. However, a nice lunge before the filler pallet can be made. is going to secure that down. And that is a relatively quick down. We have to wonder what the survivors were up to as this chase was being taken at the top side of the map. And it does look like we're going to see a pain res come through as the survivors are found here on this generator, going to be kicked with Pop Goes the Weasel, and that is so much regression for what the survivors were trying to do here. We do actually see quite a bit of progress on this bottom side generator. The dash not quite going to connect as another survivor actually just greets the generator in Vobo's face. And it looks like a unhook attempt was going to come through, but our survivor is not actually going to commit, playing it very, very safe. Going to be running towards this pallet. And Vobo is actually going to go straight back to that hook. Does not want to give the survivors any more pressure. Meanwhile, it looks like Proxer Killer is just going to do a good job of holding Vobo up here, saying if you want to leave and pressure other places of the map, you're going to have to let me get that unhook. And it does look like a double save is going to try to come through. Vobo not going to get that injury as the second stage is going to be confirmed through that throw. And Vobo playing this pretty well so far, getting that second stage here at 4 gens. A very crazy looking hit coming through onto Proxer Killer as they run down towards the bottom side of the map away from that hook. And Vobo might be content to just leave this hook now. Going after other survivors is going to be venturing quite a bit away, but ultimately is kind of anchored here in this area, not going to be making any reasonable distance to these other generators that are likely just being destroyed on the other side of the map. And right now, Wesker doing a very good job of securing Disaster. We have to see if there will be some sort of trade or double save coming through in response to this camp. Otherwise, this could be a death at 3 generators, which is insane for Wesker. It is exactly what you want as a killer player. Disaster actually is going to die on the hook as Vobo dashes away last second. Is not going to get the tag just yet on TJ. TJ, however, is going to eat a tag here at the pallet gym, running down towards the shack. Does not quite make a pallet and is actually going to get whacked here at the locker, leading to a very quick chase from Vobo as that generator does pop. But now, the one thing to note is that TJ did die here on the bottom side of the map. That is going to be a pain res yet again. But all the generators that could be pressured are now at the top side of the map. Very good macro play from the survivors, just dying in the right spots away from the generators. We hear some progress over here, but Vobo is not too concerned, is not going to check it out. And we do see quite a bit. We don't see quite a bit of generator progress. We do see a crow over there, and Vobo's going to investigate it as the unhook and reset comes through across the map. And we do see Burzard here on the Rebecca going to be chasing around the main building. Vobo going to be kicking out that door, making this chase much easier in the future. Burzard making quite a bit of distance off of that kick, though, is likely going to make that window yet again and try to loop around that main building once more. This isn't the main building to beat all main buildings, but it is still quite a time consumer. And with that, the Mastermind is going to vault that pallet. Burzard very patient on the vaults here, playing this extremely well. This is going to lead to a tag, but Burzard is able to make it over here towards another pallet. Is actually going to start running towards a tile. Not quite able to make the distance needed, and that is going to be a down right here on the top side of the map. And unfortunately for Burzard and Overcome, the top side is where a majority of the generators are. Vobo is going to hook him in the middle of all those top side generators, getting that pain resonance hook, delaying any generators from popping again. And a dash is going to be coming over to the last bottom side generator that was far away from that chase. And there's quite a bit of progress. And that is going to be robbed from the survivors as the Pop Goes the Weasel does come through. But in response to that pop, the survivors very smartly unhook Burzard, who now is injured and has to cleanse the infection. However, TJ is spotted here on the end. Some sort of sky burst is going to be attempted here, but just a lot of vaults coming through from TJ. It is going to lead to an injury, and Vobo is now aware of Burzard's existence as well, thanks to the cleansing of the virus. Burzard going to be holding this pallet very tightly, does not want to try to give any room for error against Vobo. Vobo going to be getting the dash, though, unfortunately for Burzard. That is going to lead to a down. I think that was something of a ping differential there, but that is still a down regardless, and Vobo is going to be carrying the Burzard towards the center of the map, back towards this generator that he knew had a lot of progress down there by Shaq. But rather than dash to that generator, is instead going to go towards the top side of the map as that bottom side generator is finished. And we see quite a bit of progress on this top gen that is now going to be eviscerated by the Pop Goes the Weasel. And Vobo is going to go back towards this hook and start trying to pressure that unhook, knowing that one survivor is down on the bottom side of the map, likely injured, and the other survivor is going to have to pressure this hook, is just threatening them to get on a generator. And actually, Proxer is found out here, going to be going for this unhook. Very good play with the firecracker, going to make it to where Vobo cannot get the deep wounds onto Burzard as a result of the unhook. But that trade is going to result in a pain res hook. And again, Vobo knows what generator has been progressed, as well as both of the survivors being injured. Is a lot of information for Vobo to use to kind of snowball this into a very good result, it looks like. And Vobo is content of letting Burzard make it to the bottom side of the map where he has safety in response to this generator being pressured. And Vobo is not sure whether to pressure the gens or the hook. We have two separate gens being worked on. Proxer Killer, a fresh hook, hanging there for their dear life. Just going to be hanging in the middle. And an injured survivor is going to be pressured here at this pallet. The dash does not quite connect. And TJ is going to be making distance as Vobo goes straight back to that hook, trying to pressure Burzard if Burzard is attempting to get that unhook. Instead, we do not see Burzard anywhere here, but we do see quite a bit of progress here on that top side generator. The second stage is confirmed as Vobo goes back to this generator again, trying to pressure TJ. And TJ makes it to this pallet, buying quite a bit of time. But Vobo does not want this unhook to come through. It's just continuously pressuring it, going to this topside generator where Burzard is injured. Burzard not quite able to leave on time, is going to be playing this pallet, playing this extremely patiently, however, is finally going to drop it and go down as a result. And this is going to be a pickup and hook, and yet another Pop Goes the Weasel applied to these generators. Proxer and TJ are across the map. The unhook did come through, but with that being a kill, we have to wonder if they are pressuring a generator or going to play it safe and reset. A blast mine going to be stalling out the kick, telling Vobo you cannot pop this without paying. And we have to wonder what is going on. We do not see Proxer Killer reset or using the spray to get rid of the infection. But we do see some scratch marks here in this tile with an injured survivor as the chase does commence. But Vobo is playing this extremely smart, going straight back to that top side. And it looks like we had a missed skill check telling Vobo... Oh, excuse me. Telling Vobo that their intuition was right and the chase is going to commence here at the top side of the map. A very good dash coming through onto Proxer, as a down and kill is now going to be secured, and TJ going to have to make a play to get an escape for the best possible result for his team. Vobo is going to be aware of hatch spawn, going to go over there trying to kick it. And now the door games begin, as it does look like TJ is just going to be committing fully to this topside door, and Vobo went to the side door instead of the top door, meaning that TJ is likely just going to get out from committing to that door. And with the use of hope, TJ is going to make a speedy exit, leading to a 3K, but with one generator remaining. Very well played from both sides, and we have the next matchup coming up soon. We will see Overcomes Killer on the Mastermind going up against Valhalla Survivors, so please stick around. Thank you for watching, and we will be back very, very soon.
Is that all you have? Seven minutes is all I can spare to play with you. Playtime is over. There's no point in hiding. I expected more from you. Do you actually think you can defeat me? I'll see you dead!